Alright guys, it's about time I should give you guys an update on our container garden. And it's been a really strange month. We pretty much had the coldest that I've remembered month of May for the southern part of Delaware. But things are growing, and we had some things that didn't make it from April's really strange cold weather. But it is what it is, and things are growing, so let's get to it! So what you're looking at over here, we have our big tomatoes right here. We did a combination of different tomatoes, and my favorites like the Black Crim, Cherokee Purple, German Striped. We got Rose, it's a pink rose. We also have Lucid Gem that we're growing this year. And also some Romas that we're going to be canning this year. So we're really excited about that. Now if you guys know me, you've seen my videos in the past, you know I plant all my tomatoes in 50s, which are over here. This is my second generation tomatoes, and as you may or may not be able to see here, those are some extra Romas. So that's Big Russian. We got some Giant Paste, another Striped German, and then a couple of extras, you know, Rose and Lucid Gems. So that's my second generation. Now from here, they went over to our 2-inch pots, and these are all started in, you know, late January, early February. But once they go into the 2-inch pots, they have more time to grow, and those are just extras. I have given a lot of the ones that I had over to my neighbors, and these are just extras that I'm waiting on one particular neighbor, good friend of ours, to get her stuff started, which is starting late. But I said, look, I have these tomatoes, you know, I'll give them to you. She's just got to get her stuff set up, and I'm actually going to be helping her with that because, you know, doesn't know too much about gardening, so I'm trying to get her whole garden set up here. So as we go down this way, we start moving into the peppers. Now the peppers, you know, the tomatoes are more cold hardy in terms of they can take no further than below 40, but we did have to cover them up in April because we were getting like into the high 30s, which is not a good thing. And anytime it's like at the 42 level, I don't take chances. I cover them with the agrofab and plastic. So that's what we had to do in order to make these survive. The peppers are a different story. They will require no lower than 50 degrees Fahrenheit temperature, and because we had a really iffy, you know, May was just they're not taking too good of a hit so far. And let's take a close look at that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the ones that I haven't planted yet that were extras are doing semi-decent over here. And these are a combination of different ones that we've gotten, such as Lunchbox, and we got some new varieties that we wanted to try, some heirloom varieties, which I'll get more in detail with that section over there. So let's go take a look at the peppers so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This is our pepper section right here, and these are all sweet peppers. We did a couple of mostly sweet peppers and a few hot peppers. But these are Lunchbox varieties. And Lunchbox we like because you get a nice combination of, you know, yellow, orange, and red, and they produce a little bit faster because they're not going to get quite so big like the bells. And then we're trying some new ones this year. Euros, well, Euros aren't so new for us. We've grew them before, but a couple of heirlooms that we've never tried before, which is the Pointy Kaibi and Avajarsky, which is the last one. And like I said, these were out here, we transplanted them in first week of May, I think. And then we got hit with a really funky weather. And even though it's been saying that it's not going to go below 50, 51, 52, you know, with the cold breeze, it just feels cooler than that. So they don't look too hot. This one is probably one of my worst ones. So like I said, I do have extras that I might just go ahead and pull these guys out and replace them. But I tend to want to see how far, you know, they can go. But yeah, this is the one I'm looking at the most that I might have to replace. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, it's just been a really strange weather this year with the cool weather from April into May. and I've never seen it this strange before. But the greens they're loving life in this kind of environment, and the strawberries behind me, they are actually doing really nice. And we went ahead and netted them because the birds were already coming over here and setting up shop, and I wasn't having that. So we got 3 pots of the strawberries. So we're hoping that they do well.
Jewel, right?
Huh?
I think they're jewel
variety? I think they're jewel variety. And these are raspberries that we just planted. New, we just got them from Norse Farm, same as the strawberries, I believe. And these varieties are, let's see, Nova Red. Now we did have some other ones in small pots. I'm not sure if you guys remember from last season. But raspberries, they really they like to run, and they bring up new growth. And depending on the variety that you have, you'll get a new growth. Other ones really require for you to cut them back. But you know, for them to be growing in small pots, they're not gonna. You get one season kind of thing. They're not gonna really grow back in the following season. Not in a small pot. But these are pretty big containers. I want to say they're about 30 gallon. So these two, they're not much. I mean, you guys know us. You know, we had a pretty nice orchard that we had with the raspberries. And once we moved, I'm going to set all that up just like we did before, because it was nice to be able to just go down the road. You bush hog, keep the grass down. You put your mulch down to you know, feed the soil. And so this is pretty much for my kids to come out here. Especially my youngest, he really likes to come out here and pick some fresh raspberries, so he'll be able to enjoy that. So this is all just for enjoyment. You know, I don't have any intentions on getting a serious crop out of this, but it's just for fun. And if you know me, I can't help myself. I gotta have lots of varieties. So let's go look at the Romas. So in this section we have all of our Roma types, because we're going to be doing, we're hoping to do a lot of canning this year. So we put a couple of varieties, some just your regular Romas, then we have some San Marzanos, we have some Giant Paste, and this variety here is the Russian Big. So these are 2 that I haven't grown before. I might have grown the Giant Paste, I'm not exactly sure. And over here we have these smaller ones, which are the 2nd generation Romas, actually San Marzanos and Giant Paste also. So we really hope that we get a nice harvest from this, and if we're lucky we will get 2 harvests, one for the 1st generation, and then we'll do another canning for the 2nd if there's enough. I really don't know. So I'm trying to gauge. I put 4 or 3 in each one of these pots, and they're not going to get too big because Romas usually don't get too tall. So I'm hoping these tomato cages will be enough to keep their structure and from falling over. And in worst case scenario, I'll put some stakes on there just to make sure. So over on this side we have our zucchinis and squash. We have our rounding nice over here. And then these are spinach. This is a warm variety spinach, Malabar, right? And we've never grown this before, so this is the first time. And we wanted to grow something that was green, edible, like Swiss chard, that would do well in the heat. So we'll see how that goes. This is a new variety. So over here we have more dark green zucchinis, and then we have our sweet potatoes that we just planted here. And I was really unhappy the way these slips came in. The leaves are really kind of dyed back, really yellow, and they even have some white, look like some kind of bugs on it, but I could try to wipe off as much as I could. Got them transplanted because they're really late going in anyway. But you know, it is what it is. If we get some sweet potatoes, then I'll be thrilled. So we have to see how this takes. And over here we have some more round and nice squash.
You want to say that those are sweet potatoes too?
Yeah, I'm sorry, yeah, if I didn't mention that, these are also sweet potatoes. So we have 3 pots of sweet potatoes, 4 of these slips in each one. and one of them already passed that wasn't here, because yeah, there was one right here and he's already failed. So yeah, not too thrilled, but it is what it is. It was a late, late decision, so I'm not going to worry about it. Over here we have more of the Javarskis, and we have some Euro peppers growing in here. And here we did a combination of Swiss chard, because it was, went in to the 30s in April. The transplants didn't take too ill. Only 2 of them really survived. I planted at least 6 of them. But I did direct seed, so we'll see if the direct seed pops up. And I went ahead and put a black from Tula or Tulsa tomato plant in here, because these won't get too tall. This guy will get taller. I'll support him with a stake, and then hopefully they'll be okay. Over here we have the Yankee lettuce. I planted them in a spiral, and these are already set to cut. So I'll come in here and cut them from here, and then hopefully get a second harvest, and if we're lucky, get a third harvest out of that. Over here we have our eggplant, and these are black beauties. Those are growing okay. And over here we have pak choi, also with another tomato black from Tulsa. And these won't be growing all summer long. They're more of a cool, hardy type of green. And they've been already getting attacked by some of these bugs. So I really got to come over here and spray some hemp oil or something. So over here we have another pot of the Lucid Gem. This is a variety I've never grown before. I just got these little small stakes on here. I'm going to just string them around, give them some support. But I really saw these tomatoes and it looked really interesting. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try to grow those. Over here again with the eggplant. These are the smaller ones. They took a hit even though I sprayed them already. As you can see, the bugs are getting to it. So I don't see this guy making it. At least not this one. Because, if you don't see new growth and most of the leaves are gone or badly damaged, they're going to have a hard time. This one might make it because you can see he's got some growth on there. And this one, I give it a 50-50. So, and over here we have all of our potatoes. These are regular white potatoes. And we started planting these in
end of March.
End of March.
Yeah.
And yeah, really happy with this. We did 4 inches, put the potatoes in there, did another 6 inches of soil on top of that, watered it, let it grow. We did put the straw on it, and then after it broke the top of this, about 5 inches tall, we went ahead and add more soil, about 2 inches from the top, and so they're doing really well right now. So we're really hoping we can get a good harvest out of these pots. I've never grown potatoes in pots before. I've grown them in the soil, so this will be my first time. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted with that. Over here we have one of our fig trees that I have in the pot, and we're really hoping to get maybe something out of that, but we'll see. And over here we have our red rockets. This is cayenne pepper. We didn't want to do too much hot stuff, because we only have so much space. So so they're small, but they're growing. They got some new leaf growing in each one, so they're doing okay. I wish it was warmer. We're already what's today's date? The 25th, 24th, something like that. Yeah, 24th. And yeah, we're getting like, this is like April temperatures. In April's we were getting like March temperatures. So really strange weather. So. And over here, I didn't talk about our onions. These are the transplants that I showed you guys in the last video, and they're really doing good. They took off. They're really adjusting to all the rain we've been getting. They have been bothered by the cool temperatures, and these are a combination of our shallots over here. Those first 4, if I remember correctly, and then we have the yellow tomatoes, yellow onions on the back side to the very end there. So they're doing pretty well, so I'm pretty happy about that. And last but not least is our little nectarine tree. We've had this for a few years. Hasn't been producing much, but I'm not one to kill something, and so if it's still growing, I'm going to provide some place for it to grow. So So that's it for this section. So over here we have the only cherry tomato that I'm growing, which is a Sun Gold, one of my favorite cherry tomatoes. And we did a combo with this one. We threw some cilantro in half of this to try to see if we can get some cilantro harvest. We did have a small pot that we had 2 cuttings off already, so I wanted to get a bigger area, so I said, you know, why not? I had the seeds, I threw them down, and they're doing really nicely. I'm going to string them up, but again, I didn't have a cage, so I'm just using these stakes, and I'm going to support it with the string as they grow up taller. So over here, under this trellis system, these are our cucumbers, our pickling cucumbers, that we're going to be doing hopefully some pickling this year. And we have our dill that are looking really nice, and I'll go with that, with the pickling. And so yeah, they're doing okay, no problems there. These are our beans. They're taking off really nicely. We did have a second batch of beans that were heirloom, I forget what it was called, and they really just did not survive. I have one here that was the last one that might be growing, but I think he's done. I mean, look at that. I mean, I don't think I'm going to get anything out of that. So because of that, I decided to repurpose this pot and then transplanted some rounded nice squash that I had growing in the other pot. And I've had 4 of them in that pot. So I took 2 of them out, put them in this pot, and I took 2 out and put them in another pot. And that was yesterday, and we had a nice rain overnight and this morning, and so they seem to be doing okay. Something's kind of biting at us, so I'm gonna have to be proactive on spraying something over here. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I hope you guys are doing okay out there. I hope you're doing what you can to grow your own food. Connect with your local communities, with your local farmers. There's one thing I would definitely say that about this whole situation going on, it's really giving the people an opportunity to wake up on so many different levels and connect back to nature and connect back to community, because that's what it all comes down to, is community and people working together as one family. You know, if we can all work together and figure out, you know, who needs what in terms of growing foods, and that's what it's come down to, because once those grocery stores started becoming empty with fresh produce, you know, I really thought it was really important for more people to at least become more aware of who your farmers are and connect. If you can pick up a bag of fresh produce once a week, and so many farmers are doing that all around here. So it's nice to see that. We still have to see what happens with the farmers markets. They're still talking about, you know, they're not going to have it open like it should be, and maybe doing personal orders, but you know, I'm not sure how that's going to work, because most farmers depend on that that big, you know, huge population of people walking through, and people are for the most part very visual when they're buying stuff from the farmers market. But
especially, you know, here with all the tourists.
Yeah, especially here with all the tourists and the beach, Bethany Beach, and you know, because we have the Bethany Beach farmers market, we have the Lewis farmers market, and Rehoboth Beach farmers markets. Those are the 3 big ones. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be a really interesting year, but for the most part, we're just trying to, you know, reach out to as many of our neighbors, you know, so they can know where to get fresh stuff from. So I hope you guys are doing the same thing out there. If you're not growing your own, connect with your farmers and learn as much as you can about gardening, and especially growing organic. All right, guys, so that's it for today. I'll see you guys next time. And once again, stay in your heart, stay in peace. Don't get, you know, involved in all the drama. And, you know, we'll get through this all together. All right, guys, take it easy. Much love.